Hello and welcome. My name's Amanda Jane and you're here on Mind Your Matters. Thank you so much for coming. If you're new here, welcome. So happy to have you. And this is going to be a fun little video for sure. As you know, today is Earth Day. I'm thankful that my calendar reminds me of such things. So this is a collaboration with a few ladies here on YouTube, and I'm just so thankful to take part. I'm out here sitting on my beautiful porch, enjoying the outdoors, and actually in the background you may hear our town come by. They have the tree chippers and everything because it is time to clear up the brush, make things safe in our neighborhood so that we don't have brush fires and things of that nature. So anyway, if you hear some background noise, this is just the sound of the neighborhood on this particular day. So you're welcome to be here, and hopefully it's not an annoyance to you. There were some beautiful birds chirping in the background just a moment ago, but we missed out on that, and now the chipper's in the background. Anyway, this collaboration is to focus on Earth Day and different things of taking care of the earth and how we can reduce, reuse, and recycle, and different tips and tricks in what we do in our family and our homeschool family here on Mind Your Matters. So let's get into those little tips and tricks. Anyway, when I think of Earth Day, I think of people planting trees, and it's kind of ironic that they're chipping some trees here, but don't worry, they're just limbs that have fallen, limbs that needed to be trimmed because of the power lines and all that stuff. So they're not cutting down nice healthy trees, which always makes me sad because I very much love the outdoors, and I love the, what should we say, trees and just leaves and things that grow. I love it so very much. So when trees go down that don't necessarily, I feel, need to be cut down, it does kind of make me sad. So anyway, we don't have too much of that going on right now. It's just to clear the brush. So without any further ado, when I think of Earth Day, I think of reduce, reuse, recycle. And I think that's just because that's the way I learned it at school. And the couple things that we do in our family to take care of the earth and to be good stewards of what God has given us is that we are careful with reducing. Now, reducing a lot of the time goes hand in hand with finances. So we love that too. We save a dime, and we're also reducing our waste. We do not on a regular basis buy paper throwaway products. Even though they could be recycled, we reduce our cost with those plates and plasticware and all that stuff by not buying it and not having to use it on a regular basis. Now, if there is an event like a party or something of that nature where we will not have the amount of plates that we have in our cabinet to suffice, well, we do buy those paper plates, but we almost all the time stay away from that. And that helps us to reduce. We also reduce because we are a homeschool family. We reduce our emissions. We are not out and running to and fro. We're not having to run back and forth to school or back and forth to work with the one car that is our family car. My husband is the one income earner in our home. Thank you, honey. And he's out there working hard for us, and we reduce that way. I also reduce the emissions of our car, and of course also finances. We're not paying for that gas, but we are reducing the emissions as well because we're not going to and fro. We reduce the emissions because as a homeschool family, we're home and we're also going out on a place for a purpose. So when we go out to town, we try to bulk our activities together. I have a couple videos. We've done a day in the life, and I show our roundabout town, what we've done and how we go to and fro so that we could keep our trip together, and we're putting so many emissions out into the atmosphere. So reducing our emissions, reducing our to and fro, reducing all of those things really does help in keeping our earth clean. So those are some things there. We also try to use products that are sustainable. We don't really want to purchase something that is extra expensive just because it's been super recycled. But nowadays things have been coming down in price if you have a item that is earth friendly, you know, in a way, and has been recycled and has like 80% previous consumer product, you know, when you read the labels, the Starbucks napkins and all those things, we really do enjoy trying to do that as well, and that's a little bit more affordable nowadays. So that's reduce. How about reuse? Well, if you know me well at all, if you've been on this channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a thrifter. I like to shop used, gently used items first before going ahead and purchasing new. So I do love ThredUp. I do love consignment shops. We have a lot of consignment shops nearby us that we really enjoy. I do love Goodwill. I do love Salvation Army and all the other thrifting shops and stops around the way. I do like to get hand-me-downs. I do like repurposing items, and all of these things do go into reusing things so that they don't have to be reproduced and we're not buying new for some items. Now, disclaimer, there are some things that cannot be reused, and you know what I'm talking about. And I know what I'm talking about. We just ain't gonna discuss them all, so we're good. There are things that you cannot reuse nicely, safely, and sanitary, obviously. But there are things that can be reused very well. We do like Facebook Marketplace, we do like yard selling, we do like all of those things that we can buy something used, gently used, new to us, on a dime, and also to help reduce the types of things that could hurt our planet and could hinder the health of our land. Now, we do live in Maine, so we have lots of trees. We have lots of fresh air, and I have gone to places where it is not very clean, and you can tell that the air and the quality of water and all of the things are hindered, and a lot of it is due to pollution and people not putting things where they belong and being wasteful and things like that. So we do try to live clean and organized. That's a little bit in my tagline for this channel, clean and organized, and that really does help when we are using items. Last but not least, recycle. Now, here in Maine, we do have a way to recycle. We do have to pay a deposit on our bottles and containers and so on, and that does give a little bit of an incentive if you want to reduce, reuse, recycle, recycling those items. So you do get a nickel, or if it's for a different glass jar, you can get up to 25 cents, and you bring those to the redemption center and you go ahead and get that money back. Now, I remember way back in the day, we would go ahead and we would look for cans and bottles, like after a birthday party or something like that, and we would ask people for bottles. We would do fundraising around here with getting bottles and cans, and you can actually cash in pretty good. It is a lot of work. They're getting closer. We don't have much time, we gotta speed up. So to recycle things like that, to get that money back, that is good, and that those items are gonna be repurposed. Now, we also recycle things like if my kids have some broken plastic toys, and they are recyclable, there's some parts that can be taken off that need to be taken off. We go ahead and do those things, and we try to learn about what can be recycled and what not. Now, you know there are markings at the end and then at the back of different items. Are these a number 1 and number 2, whatever, the different symbols. Go ahead and educate yourself on those things, and also educate yourself on what can be recycled in your recycle bins. Now, if your town does what my town does, we have to recycle, or we don't have to, we get to recycle, and we do keep our bins separate. Bins that go ahead and have a label that is just for recycling, and we keep those separated. So that really does help, and we know that those are going to a better place and they're going to be repurposed and reused. So paper, glass, things that are plastic, certain plastics, go ahead and educate yourself on what goes in there and what doesn't, because a lot of that stuff does end up into the trash heap because people are not educated on how to recycle in their particular town in a particular way properly. So go ahead and make sure that you look up your town, if your town does recycling, or if there's another way to recycle. Make sure you understand the rules, because you're going to be wasting someone's time. You're going to be wasting emissions on that truck so that they can bring it in and bring it out and all of that stuff. So if you're really desiring to recycle, go ahead and know what you need to recycle. We've gone through this with my kids before. We've looked at symbols, we've looked at different things, we've gone to recycle centers, and it is so much fun to learn about the process and how it really does help. So reduce, reuse, and recycle. We can also do with recycling. My kids have made so many little crafts on recycling. They'll go into the recycle bin just to make crafts. We have made different crafts on Easter items that we've actually made videos on, and my kids love to make just little trinkets and things. Seriously, go buy yourself some blue painter's tape or duct tape or scotch tape and let your kids go crazy with their recycle bin. Give them some child-safe scissors according to their ability and let them create. Let them create something, and that's a way of recycling as well. It can still go in the recycle bin afterwards when they're done making those binoculars or whatever. But it had a purpose. It was repurposed, it was reused, it was recycled. When I think about Earth Day, let's do our very best to be good stewards of what God has given us in this beautiful earth that He created for us. What a good God we serve. What a wonderful Savior. He is so wonderful to let us live in this beautiful place. Now, saying all that makes me think about the most wonderful place that I'm going to be able to go to, not because of my merit, not because of anything I've done, but because of my Savior, Jesus Christ. If you've been on this channel for any length of time, you know that I love Jesus and that Jesus is good and He died for sinners. And I've accepted His free gift of salvation in my life. And when I think about how wonderful this earth is and that He created this and that this isn't even, you know, as great as what He started out as, I think about the other place that God has created for those that love Him and that are saved, to have Jesus in their heart, that have washed away their sins to be their Savior. So I think of heaven. I think of heaven and how God has created that for us. Now, we know that this earth, it's gonna pass, things are gonna change, but why don't we do our very best to be good stewards of it, to take care of what God has given us, to take care of the things in our home, to use them properly so that we're not having to run out and buy something brand spanking new or to have to replace things unnecessarily. That is a way that we can reduce, reuse, and recycle, and then we can be good stewards of this beautiful land that God has given us. So thank you so much for joining me today. Just a little sit down while my kiddos take a little rest. And it's just a beautiful day. It's about 65 degrees here in Maine, and it's a beautiful Earth Day. I'm just so thankful that you joined me. If you haven't yet subscribed, would you? Go ahead and subscribe, become part of the Mind Your Matters family. We upload videos all the time. Homeschool, mom life, Jesus, all these awesome things, and that's something you're interested in, go ahead and join us. And if you liked this video, here's a time that you can go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It lets me know with all these thumbs up that you like this content. Maybe you do like me sitting out on my swing, having a little chat with the natural background noise of the saws and people cutting down the limbs and trees and chipping them up. Oh my goodness. What a day. What a day. Happy Earth Day. Thank you so much. And I'm just so thankful that you're here. Take care. Bye.